Hello and welcome back to Football Junkies United. Ty Barlow. We are jumping right into this one at high speed here. So, Broncos Raiders, second time they've played. Look like right out the gates, RJ Harvey gets that first down. It looked like he was going to get tackled for loss, but he played really well as a rookie. But then, of course, Max Crosby gets his sack. But look at RJ Harvey, man. He was running really well right up the gut, and then you had Nix run in for the touchdown on that one. And right before that, Nix had a play where he could have probably scored in just the same fashion. But this is where the Broncos are going to be a little bit scary in the playoffs, is when they do things like that. So give me just one sec here. All right. Geno Smith had a nice play right there. I surprised the receiver hung onto the ball though. But I loved how the Raiders answered right here. They came right back and marched right down the field, like sliced right through their defense. Boom. Brock Bowers touchdown, 7-7. So right out the gates, I just thought, oh, here we go again, another AFC West, battle. Both teams came out, marched down the field, and scored touchdowns, right? And then this play got them their first down to Pat Bryant, and it looked like they were maybe going to start a drive here because I think they got clear down to about the 40, and then they stalled. So good defense from the Raiders. And right here, I think if the Raiders would have took control, they could have maybe made this another game. But, man, Franklin Myers got that sack. And then this punt return, golly, came out of a scrum and just takes off. Touchdown, Marvin Mims, excellent kick return. And I loved how he's guiding his blockers. It did seem like there was more Broncos fans at the Vegas stadium than there were Vegas fans, so that was kind of interesting. A lot of orange there, so that's kind of tough for your home team there. But I thought Lil Jordan Humphrey also played pretty well. He had a couple of catches, was really nice. He had a couple of really nice catches that we needed to have to get first downs yesterday, and so that was another cool thing that took place is that Denver's kind of offense from everywhere, So Adam Troutman up the middle. That was a good 12-yard gain. And if you watch the way Bo Nix is playing, he's playing fairly decent. Right there, they had to end up kicking that one. But another sack from the defense here. So Nick Benito's having himself a year this year. He's double-digit sacks this year. So, but Pat Bryant, another catch. He's coming on strong for the Broncos as well. But you're going to see a lot of Broncos highlights on offense this week just because they held the ball. Time of possession in this game was incredibly lopsided for the Broncos. So I think the Raiders D just could not get them off the field, and it was like the Broncos wanted, if they wanted to do something, they did. So it was a little bit tough. But right there, RJ Harvey, man, running right up the gut. So even though they're missing J.K. Dobbins, I mean, Harvey's playing great as a rookie, and he's got these big, powerful legs to get himself right through things, So, all right, so it's 21-7, Raiders to Brock Bowers, right? And that's kind of what they need to stick with. But I think the Broncos started keying on Brock Bowers, and then they double teamed him in that situation. So that was a fourth down. They went to Brock Bowers and didn't get it. And Cortland Sutton right up the middle. This is where Nix was very smart. He ran, made sure that he stayed in bounds, got time of possession, then he got another first down to Cortland Sutton. And this is just smart football. But I liked how the Raiders D kind of hung in there. That could have been another touchdown right there. I think Nix got pressured though and threw it a little bit high, but settled for it. So they're up at 3 scores with 3 minutes left in the game. So you're thinking, oh, this game's over. But then the Raiders make this rad little push at the end. So, and you're thinking, man, there's no way this is going to be a close game. Benito gets another sack right here. But then the defense just falls apart, and here comes the Raiders, right? To Brock Bowers with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Bang! A strike, right? To Bo Jackson's nephew right there. So that was pretty. And of course, it's on Riley Moss. He's got to clean that stuff up for sure. But yeah, that was just a blown coverage. So, yeah, it's 24-14, and they march a little bit of time off the clock, but the Raiders end up not having to use their timeouts. But sack Nix right there. And it starts getting interesting because the Raiders make this like crazy comeback right at the end. And they're playing really good defense here too. So I really did think Sean Payton was going to go for the first down on that one, but he didn't, right? He almost let the Raiders have too much time because here they come. They get a first down. 24-14. Watch this play. Bang. That's a chunk play right there, right? And then they get a penalty on top of it and so they kick this field goal. And if they would have had like even 5 more seconds, man, this game could have been, a different outcome. But anyway, so that's the end of the Broncos game. Wild finish. Definitely Denver is in the driver's seat. Best record in the NFL, 11-2. It'll be interesting to see how things shake out because I think you got the New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos kind of fighting for that number 1 seed. And so, and the rest of things are kind of falling into place too, as far as like, you've got the Buffalo Bills that had a win yesterday. You also had, so you're seeing teams starting to fall off. You had Houston Texans that had a big win yesterday. So the Chiefs, I think, are falling out of the playoffs this year. So it's going to be interesting to see by the end of this year who's actually in that wild card spot. Right now, I believe it could be the Texans, and the Texans could actually jump into taking over that division, So that'll be a kind of a cool finish to see what happens there. But as far as the Broncos, they took care of business today. Really good win for the Broncos. I think their time of possession was so lopsided. They just, kept running. R.J. Harvey, I think McLaughlin had a good game. Their running game was great because of their Chiefs up front. They've got some big dudes up front that played their butts off. So congrats to the O-line for the Broncos. Didn't look like Nix got he sacked maybe once or twice, but it wasn't like anything major, and it was actually a really solid game from the Broncos heading into the final 4 games of the season for them. So Raiders, they're just having a rough year. I mean, it's tough because they have really good moments, really good plays, and then they just for whatever reason just cannot sustain it. I think they just need to get back to form again. They've got some really young pieces that I think could be really helpful, but I think I'm not sure if I think Pete Carroll will stay, but I've been hearing rumors that he might get let go after the first year, which I think would be kind of sad because if they just let him stay, I think he'll build his program, So, but a lot of teams do that. They fire their coaches too early. So Raiders fans, I'd like to hear from you. Do you want to keep Pete Carroll? Do you want him let go already? And then, yeah, Broncos fans, let me know how you're feeling, man. You got the best record in the NFL, so it's going pretty well for you. So, Broncos Raiders fans, it's definitely probably not the mix you'd have in a room, but as far as that goes, I think that was an excellent game for the Broncos, and congrats to their O-line. I thought they just kind of dictated this game, really. So I'll see you guys on our next one. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you so much.